although we won't wait for him to start, but he's going to be a key player later on in the meeting. But anyway, this is Mayor Peters. It's 6 p.m. on Tuesday, December 8th. I'll go ahead and call this regular session of the Adel City Council meeting to order. And to get started, I'll read why we're meeting via Zoom. That is due to public health concerns related to COVID-19 and is authorized by emergency proclamation of the governor of the state of Iowa. This meeting of the City Council will be conducted electronically pursuant to Iowa Code 21.8, as holding the meeting in person is impossible or impractical. Interested persons may attend or participate in the meeting by the following methods. And if you're on the agenda, there's a link there to join by video conference, and there's also a conference call-in number with an ID. So with that, I'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting. And Angela, our city clerk, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Angela, would you take the role of the city council?
Yes. Ackerman,
Here.
Christensen, MacDon,
Here.
Miller, Selby,
Here.
Okay. Well, Dan's not here. Oh, there's Dan. I see he just joined. So, Angela, you can mark Dan down. Dan, go ahead and say you're here just to get your voice on the record. If you can hear me. Dan, you're on mute.
All right, there we go. Off mute. How are you doing? I'm here.
Okay. Okay, good. Oh, good. Good. Everyone's here. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. The agenda is out online, and the first items on the agenda are really fun ones. It's the mayor recognition, and I'm not going to go in the order that they are on the agenda. I'm going to start off with Trevor Jane. Trevor, I see you're on the call.
I am here.
Okay. Well, for Trevor, I don't know if this is going to work very well, but we have your 5-year plaque in recognition of 5 years with the city of Adel. You've been with the library, and this is your 5-year anniversary. And would like to congratulate you on your 5 years. And I don't know, we have one of the best libraries in the state of Iowa. And that's in large part due to Paula James, our current library director, but also to the staff. And Trevor, you've been a real important component of the Adel Library success. And so I'd like to congratulate you on your 5 years. And for the folks that don't know, our current library director, Paula James, is retiring, and the library board, in their wisdom, has appointed Trevor to take over, and he'll officially take over his duties. I believe when we talked last, Trevor, it was going to be January 1st. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, I have this certificate of 5 years of service, and I brought it here to the house, but I'm going to take it back to City Hall, and then you'll be able to collect it there at your convenience. So I'll get that back down tomorrow. I'll have to stop by and sign some papers as well. So Trevor, thank you very much for your service.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay. Really glad you're on board. Next is Rocky Foster, again for 5 years of service. And Rocky is an Adel graduate. He graduated from ADM in 2005. He's a veteran of the Iraq War. Rocky came back and started in a white collar job with Wells Fargo, and then transition to the city of Adel. And I asked him about it. He says, "Oh, Mayor, I just, this is where I need to be. This is where I'm most happy." And Rocky, we are really happy that you are with the city of Adel, and just want to congratulate you on your 5 years of service. And Rocky comes from a long line in the Grove family, although his last name is Foster. His great grandfather played football for Adel. His grandfather played football for Adel. His dad played football for Adel. Rocky played football for Adel. So there's a long legacy there of Rocky being associated, he and his family, with the city of Adel. And Rocky, I'm just really glad you're with the city, and you're in a very important department. They're all important, but with the new water plant coming online, and that's where you are tasked to use your skills. Just really appreciate you being there. So thank you very much, Rocky, for your service. Next is Monty Keller. And I don't know if Monty's on the line. I don't see that he was. But Monty is also an Adel grad. He graduated in 1993. And he's our SRO, School Resource Officer. And just really happy and delighted to have Monty. And this is for his 20 years of service. He's been on the force for 20 years. And I couldn't think of a better SRO, representative of the Adel Police Department with the ADM School District. And I know in talking with Mr. Dufault and the administration there, they are very happy and pleased to have Monty as the city's representative, who is in the hallways and interacts with the students. And we just, a great representative for the city of Adel. And just to step away from Monty's recognition, I noticed in the Des Moines Register last Friday, and this was evident kind of over the summer, there was the school resource officers were a point of controversy. And in this Des Moines Register article last Friday, the city of Ames was considering eliminating the SRO. And they cited some national studies. But I can tell you one thing, they never checked with the ADM school district in the city of Adel, because I think our SRO officer and program is exemplary, and in large part it's due to Chief Shepard, and of course Monty. And just really glad that Monty has chose to remain in Adel and is active in the community. And so Monty, in absentia, I'd just like to congratulate you for your 20 years of service to the city of Adel. I look forward to 20 more. So thank you. And last but not least is for Paula James. And Paula, you're on the line. I wish I could see. I wish you could pop up in this.
I know. Sorry, I'm here though.
So hope you're feeling well.
I'm better. Yes.
Okay. Well, for those that don't know, Paula was diagnosed with COVID-19 and wasn't able to attend her last scheduled board meeting on December 1st. She's still on the payroll till 12/31 when Trevor takes over. But Paula, for your 21 years of service, I can't think of a better leader to lead our library and library program. And, Paula is an Adel grad. She graduated in 1976 and has remained here. And we're just so lucky to have her for the past 21 years leading the library. And she's still on the payroll till 12/31. And so anyway, Paul, I'd like to congratulate you for your 21 years of service. And again, this plaque will be at City Hall. And when you get the clearance to get out and about again, it'll be there available for you to pick up.
Thank you,
So-
Mayor. I just want to thank everyone It was an honor to work for the city of Adel. The mayor has always had kind words about our library. This council has been great to work with. This city staff has been great to work with. My board, my staff. Trevor's going to do a great job, and I'm really excited for him and what the future brings for me too. So it's happy and a sad day. Really, it will be. So thank you all.
Okay, well, Paul, I'm not quite done. I don't know, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay, well, I have you here, a key to the city, and I don't give these out willy-nilly. But anyway, this says, in recognition of Paula James for her many years of dedicated service and unfailing commitment to creating a library that serves and enhances the city of Adel.
Oh, that
Thank
is
you.
so cool. That's so nice.
So,
Thank
anyway,
you. Thank you. I love it.
and this key serves a dual purpose. Not only is it decorative and representative of your commitment to the city, but it's also a bottle opener used to open your favorite beverage. So I'm going to have this at City Hall for you, and then again, when you get clearance, you can stop by and pick that up. If you can't
Thank
make
you.
use of
Thank
it,
you,
maybe
Jim.
Dan
That is so nice. I love it.
can. Okay. And I'm not quite done.
This is fun.
One last thing is, I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is a plaque.
Oh,
And
cool.
Paul, I don't know if you remember or not, but Dan took a picture of you
Yeah.
by the library books, and I had that
Yep.
cropped.
Oh,
And
cool.
so it's a nice picture of you kind of looking over your shoulder with books in the background.
Mhm.
And the plaque says, in recognition of Paula James, Director, Adel Public Library, 1999 to 2020, for her 21 years of dedicated service and unfailing commitment to creating a library that serves and enhances the city of Adel. She was a leader in the effort to build a new library, opened in 2006, to replace the former library, which served the community for 79 years from 1924 to 2005. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've got the old church, Presbyterian Church, which was our library, again from 1924 to 2005, and then a picture of the new library. And I had this plaque created, and it's talked to Trevor and the library board. This is going to be on display at the library. And so that will enshrine you in the new library for perpetuity. So when folks come in, they're going to see how Paula James, those that weren't even familiar with you, what an influence you had on the city of Adel and the library program. And I'm just really pleased to be able to present this to the library board and to Trevor. And Trevor has a place for it. So again, Paul, I just can't express enough appreciation for your dedicated service. And one of the things I've always said is that whether it was the Dallas County News, the city newsletter, the website, we have some of the best programs in the state of Iowa for our kids. I know that you're going to get to the report for the library here later on in the agenda. Again, thank you so much for your dedicated service.
Appreciate that. Very, very kind words. Can't talk.
Okay, well, compose yourself, and if Trevor needs to give the report, he can, which is later on. But anyway, okay, well, that concludes the recognition. Just really happy to recognize all those folks. So with that, we'll move on to the public hearing. Item 1 is ordinance amending Chapter 122. This is peddlers, solicitors, transit merchants, for the purpose of adding regulations regarding mobile food units. So I'd entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
This is Rob.
Okay, Bob, then Rob seconded. There's no discussion. We'll vote on that motion.
Ackerman,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Macadon,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
That roll call sounds like Lou Gehrig at Yankee Stadium when he gave his farewell speech. That echo in the back. Um, Anyway, this would be a time for anybody that's on the meeting, either on the call or through Zoom. If you'd like to speak to this, please take yourself off mute, which I believe, Rob, is *6 to mute and to unmute.
That's correct.
And state your name and your address and whether you're for or against or whatever comments you would have on this amendment to Chapter 122.
And Mayor, this is Anthony. We didn't have any written comments on this so far.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, well, it doesn't appear that anyone's on the line to speak to this public hearing. And seeing that, I'd entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
Mayor, I'd like to make a comment first.
Oh, yes.
Or ask
Yeah.
a question. Anthony, have you or the chamber contacted the 11 or 12 brick and mortar restaurants, food service that we have in Adel?
This is Anthony. We tried to distribute this a couple different ways. We had the public hearing. We also had it on our website. I coordinated with the chamber to make sure that, at least their members had a chance to access it or at least see it. So, we didn't necessarily send it to everybody like via mail, but tried to put it up a couple different ways for folks to see it at least.
Thank you.
Any follow-up, Bob?
What?
Any follow-up then, based on that?
Just that I don't think that the restaurant people have had proper notice, and I guess I would move that we extend the public hearing until the January meeting and ask Anthony to contact all 11 or 12 food services here in town to make sure that they're aware of it, because this is going to affect their business.
Dang it, Bob. I could force to get my rules of order out. So what's your motion? Let's see.
Motion.
Okay, we're in public hearing.
Extend the public hearing until the January meeting, and then Anthony would contact all 11 or 12 food service people to give them, make sure that they've had an opportunity.
Christine, can I call on you for what the parliamentary procedure would be for this? I mean, I understand what Bob's saying, and I suppose it would take a motion with maybe a simple majority to pass, which would leave open the public hearing.
Yes, I agree. It would be a simple motion, majority of the council, to continue the public hearing to the next regular city council meeting.
Okay, do you want to make that motion, Bob?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna rule that's in order since we're in the public hearing, you want to extend it. Okay, so is there a discussion?
Need a second first.
Point of order. Thank you, Bob. Is there a second? Okay, Joe seconds. Okay, now discussion.
Hi, this is Peter Makins. I live at 1011 Lynn Drive. I own Big Boy's Mobile Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Welcome
I'm
to the
wondering,
council meeting, Peter.
I'm wondering why we're inviting the restaurants when the food trucks who hold permits in the city weren't even invited. I heard about this secondhand. So I had no knowledge of it. And I feel like if we're giving the restaurants leeway, we all should have been notified because I am a permit holder in this town. I paid $8,000 in sales tax. $1,500 of that came to Dallas County. I've done everything the right way and I wasn't notified of it. So I'm just wondering why we would double back and let the restaurants who are not part of this industry. I understand that you want them to be part of it, but they're not. They're fighting against us being here. And I live here, I pay my taxes, and I mean, we're not I don't understand the reason for drawing this out. Like, I turned down a $2,000 job today to be part of this menu, or be part of this meeting, and now we're going to extend it and nothing's going to be resolved.
So Peter, do you like the ordinance as is? Are you worried that it might change if the restaurants buy in some more?
I think the ordinance is very lengthy. There's a lot of, I've filed for 13 mobile food vendor permits, and Adel's is the longest, most complicated, and biggest runaround to get. And people should have reached out to, I would have been down and I could tell you exactly what every city is doing. The Adel is 2 pages longer than the downtown Des Moines. And it asks for, downtown is $70 more. I don't know what the new fees are, but it's $570 for a downtown Des Moines, or a city of Des Moines permit. And for here, it's very expensive. And it's the, let me find it. It's the bonds. The bonds are pointless, and what you should do is transfer that over and just have Adel listed as insurance. Like, I have $2 million worth of insurance, and I can list the city of Adel for the same price. It's like as the bond. So why wouldn't you just have me list you as a beneficiary on my insurance instead of getting the bond where you're only going to get the $200 when you could, if I drive into something, there's $2 million there to cover it. Ankeny does it. Johnston does it. Des Moines does it. West Des Moines does it. It's actually easier for me to do than post the bond.
Okay, Peter, this is Mayor Peters, and we're still in the public hearing. We do have a motion on the floor. And your input really is more about the ordinance itself, which was really the purpose of the public hearing, which we're still in. So really appreciate your input and your comments there. I don't know if anybody else is on the line that, I put a call out for anybody who wanted to speak, and if Peter's the only one that's going to speak about the ordinance itself, then we'll get back to discussion on the motion to continue.
Mayor? Mayor?
Yes.
Rob Fair. I don't want to go into another soliloquy, but I will tell you that there are a lot of us that operate food trucks that agree wholeheartedly with Peter.
Mm-hmm. And
so,
Rob, could you state your name and your address just for the record, so we have that, please?
My name's Rob Fair. I'm out of Ankeny.
Uh-huh.
But we've cultivated a really nice following in Adel, and we provide a service, especially during this time where, with COVID and the pandemic, where people, I get that brick and mortar restaurants are fighting the fight, but people still are looking for that socialization where they can remain safe, where they can socially distance, and sometimes they just don't feel like cooking at home. And we provide, with all the different food trucks and the barbecue and the tacos and big boys, there's options, and we're providing a service to the community that I don't think anybody else can provide, even a brick and mortar restaurant right now. That when we make it harder for these people to provide this service, it becomes a logjam of paperwork rather than actually taking care of the community. And that's all I have to say about it.
Rob, you mentioned, this is Mayor Peters, you mentioned Ankeny. Could you just state your address for the record so Angela can have your complete comments down?
Sure, I'm 1115 Southwest 28th Street, Ankeny, Iowa.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the comments, Rob. Anybody else on the line that has an interest in the ordinance?
Yeah, hi, this is Alex Catron.
No? Okay, Alex. Go ahead and state your address, please.
I'm at 800 Shelby Drive here in Adel,
Okay.
and I'm the owner-operator of Snappy's Stick Fire Barbecue. Also a mobile unit, so I was interested in seeing this. I've read through the prior year and this year, and it seems that we're using a lot of the same language, a lot of carryover. I guess maybe I can get with Anthony later to get some clarification on some of the specifics here, but it seems to be I don't see a lot of real big changes here. And I might be wrong on that, but there were some parts that seemed a little bit ambiguous, and I have to agree with Peter that this is a little bit cumbersome and almost prohibitive in spirit, it seems like. This is a side job for me more than it is for Peter, but I have gone outside of Adel and Dallas County, and I've applied for permits elsewhere, and this really is probably the most cumbersome one that I've had to go through, to the point where it does seem almost prohibitive, and some of this is difficult to even entirely follow, I guess. It seems that there's some added designation and specificity about mobile trucks in this. I'm not even really clear on if the bond applies to mobile trucks, or if that's if they fall under transit merchants in that part of the chapter, or if that's excluded from that, its own thing. I'm not entirely clear. And I don't know, is that something I should talk to Anthony about separately, or that can be spoken to at all now?
Well, certainly, Alex, this is Mayor Peters. Certainly, you're bringing up some general questions about the language of it, and I don't know that we would reconcile your questions with answers at this public hearing, but
yeah,
it's something that the council would consider before final passage.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, some of the specifics just that I'm a little bit lost on. Music and sound making devices, the use of music or sound making devices as part of a mobile food unit should be prohibited. What's defined as a sound making device? Is my smoker, when I'm running the chain and there's a steady hum, is that a sound making device that's going to cause me to be shut down? Does that mean I can't play music at a low level? Or I'd like to see more specific about maybe a decibel level, or I don't really follow that. Most vendors use generators, and they usually use enclosed, quiet generators. That just seems a little bit broad to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the no drive-up service to the unit. Does that mean that if we have the capability to take a mobile order, we're not allowed to walk that out to a unit, out to a truck? Or does that mean that we need to have folks come to the window to be able to pick up their food? We're not allowed to run it. I'm not entirely clear on that either. And if I'm set up at a business, another section refers to signs not being set up that aren't adhering to or stuck to the unit. Does that mean I can't put a flag up that says barbecue to try to draw traffic off of the corner on the business that I'm at? Some of these things just seem overly prohibitive to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, this is Mayor Peters. We're still in a public hearing, and Alex, you bring up some good things, and Rob and Peter, this is all good input. One of the things about this process, and we still do have a motion to continue the public hearing, but once the public hearing is closed, it sounds like that, the normal process is to have this reading. This is the first reading of the ordinance. There's usually 2 more before final. So I'm anticipating that based on this input and some questions of clarification, the council might would defer any action, which there is action later on the agenda to consider this ordinance for the first reading. And so I'm sure that's going to be part of the discussion. So again, Alex, I don't know that we will answer or reconcile any questions that you have, but certainly we have those recorded, and that doesn't mean that if once we leave this public hearing or move on later on the agenda, doesn't prevent you or anyone else from consulting, meeting with city staff to get a better understanding and maybe some
Sure.
input.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Anybody else on the line that has an interest in the ordinance as it was presented? Okay, then we'll go back to the motion to continue the public hearing to the next regular meeting, which I don't have a current calendar up, but need to. January 12th is that's what your motion was, Bob, right? To continue.
That's correct. Yes.
To January 12th, which will be our next regular city council meeting. Okay, so let's have discussion amongst council about Bob's motion.
I think that's fair. I think it's fair for both, whoever may want to speak to this, whether it's additional food truck owners or anybody else for that matter. And like you said, Mr. Mayor, it's we have 3 readings. So this would actually, there's a minimum of 3 months that we would be considering this. Can I ask a question of our city attorney, Christine? Christine, during this process, once we start down the road of, can there be amendments at any time to the ordinance at any of the readings?
There can be. The council can choose to amend the ordinance between the first and second reading, for example. The only thing I would say about that is if we're making, wholehearted changes to the ordinance and really changing the substance, it probably makes sense to start over with 3 new readings. But if it's just, minor tweaks here and there, that's totally fine.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mm-hmm. Any other discussion?
This is Shirley. Does staff have the email addresses of the permit holders that currently have permits for their food trucks?
This is Angela. Yes, I would have those email addresses.
It seems to me appropriate then that we send an email to the permit holders and let them know that this item is on the agenda and that they can have access to the ordinance, and that if the motion passes, there'll be a continued public hearing for the next meeting.
I could do that.
And to Bob's point earlier, the same with the restaurants in town.
Okay.
So this is Dan. I completely agree with pushing it forward and reconsidering or considering it at the next meeting.
Okay. If there isn't any other discussion about the motion to continue the public hearing, we can go ahead and vote on that motion.
Christensen,
Yes.
McAdon,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Ackerman,
Yes.
Okay, motion to continue the public hearing to, I'll just say 6 PM on Tuesday, January 12th passes. And so then we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, comments from the public, update on the city's water, sanitary sewer, and stormwater projects from McClure. Gary, I see you're on the line, so I'll go ahead and turn the floor over to you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Anthony had asked me to provide a quick update on the different utility projects that we have ongoing in the community, and maybe a recap of some of them that have recently been completed. And so I'll go ahead and go briefly through each one of the utilities, starting with the water utility. The phase 1 projects, which included the Rapids and Bryan water main replacement project, the well 5 and 6 drilling, as well as a second contract for the well house construction, and then also the new raw water transmission main to transfer the water from the well field to the new treatment facility, actually the existing and new treatment facility. Those have all been completed and closed out. The phase 2 projects are all ongoing at this point. The water treatment plant is nearing startup completion, is substantial completion, I should say, is scheduled for March 1st of 2021. And the new plant we anticipate will be online and ready for the high season flows of 2021. The ground storage reservoir has been constructed, painted, really doing leak testing at this point in time, some kind of minor items, but if you drive by the plant site, you'll actually see the new facility up and constructed. So working through some final items there, but that's December 15th is the substantial completion date, and we anticipate we'll hit that, again, working through a few final minor items. And then the next water project would be the high zone water main project, which there's action, or there's an agenda item for action to approve contract documents for SM Henches to move forward with that work. And I can provide more detail during that agenda item if there's interest. The wastewater projects, if you go all the way back, kind of referencing all the different USDA projects that the city has either completed or has under construction today. If you go all the way back, you go all the way back to the Main Street project that was completed. There was also a portion of that work that was done underneath of a USDA loan, and that was a hydraulic upgrade of the sewer underneath of Main Street. That's been completed for some time. The East Annex sewer project has been completed, getting closer to a year now that it's been operational, and things are going well there. And then finally, the wastewater treatment plant, which recently started this fall. And if you do go out to the wastewater treatment plant site, you'll see a very, very large hole in the ground and some concrete work that has begun at this point in time. The substantial completion date for that work is April 1st of 2022. So that will be ongoing for quite some time. And then finally, the stormwater, we've completed 4 sections of work thus far, 11th and Green, Lynn and South 14th, and then Horse and Buggy and Pleasant Street, which was actually bid as a single project. Those have all been completed. And then we have section 5, which is kind of near the Lynn and South 14th location, a smaller project that we're under design on currently and anticipate construction in 2021. And then I guess the final thing I would mention, the city's been fortunate as we've closed out some of those projects and some of those USDA loans that we've done so at a reduced interest rate from what that original letter of conditions was, providing some pretty significant interest rate savings, specifically on the phase 1 water projects, and then also the East Annex sewer extension project. Those all came in at a reduced interest rate during final closeout, and so very pleased with that. So if there's specific questions on any of the utilities or projects, I'd be happy to go through those, but I wanted to try to keep it brief. So.
Mayor, you're muted.
Thank you. Uh, Thank you. This is Mayor Pierce. Thank you, Gary. Council, any questions for Gary?
Gary, though, can I request that you actually, all those things you listed, can we get a copy of those? And maybe if Anthony could even post them on our website, maybe put them on our social media site. That's a lot. There's a lot of good projects there that are done, and a lot of investment of taxpayer dollars and customer dollars. And I think people will benefit to know where, where all those investments have gone. We get a lot of complaints about increased, tax rates or utility rates or whatever. I think people would be beneficial for them to know where their money's going for.
Certainly, we can work with Anthony and his staff to put some documentation together and put it out on whatever platform the city wishes. So.
And also, Mr. Mayor, if I may take the liberty, I just wanted to pass along. I think the rest of the council would join me in passing along our sincerest condolences publicly to Jeff at McClure and his family. Jeff just recently lost his dad, so we certainly pass along our condolences to Jeff and his entire family in that loss.
Yes. Thank you very much, Rob, for recognizing Jeff Shug's loss. Jeff Shug with McClure Engineering has been working with us for many years. So, okay. If there's no other comments or questions, then again, thank you, Gary. We'll move on to the consent agenda. And everybody's had an opportunity to review the consent agenda items. So I entertain a motion to adopt and approve the consent agenda.
This is Bob, so moved.
Jody, second.
Okay. The only comment I had was the last item K. There's a document in there that the members of the county 911 board membership, and Bob and I are on there. But if you want to include my cell phone number on there, I don't think there's a phone number, but you include my cell phone number on that form. So anyway, okay. If there's no more discussion or input, I will go ahead and take the roll.
Macedon,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Ackerman,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Okay, motion to adopt and approve the consent agenda passes. Now we're under department head reports, and looks like Paula, the annual library report. Or Trevor?
Well, I'm here, but I thought Paula was also still
Well,
here.
Paula was there, but she's on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we do this annually. We take the state report statistics and present them to you. And I think they look pretty good for us being as closed as long as we are. So you'll see everything a little bit down. But even if you look at the programming numbers, they look pretty good. And then we wanted you to see what some of the things we've added during the time of COVID. Like the Wonder Book is a read-along book, and it's a kit, and it has extra little pieces in it, and they've been really popular. The weekly displays, picking up crafts, and the one thing we will continue to do is it's called curbside pickup. So you have that table in the entryway, and you can just come get your books. That's been very popular. And Trevor, can you tell them about the numbers for Bridges too tonight?
Sure.
That you shared with the board.
Bridges is a statewide consortium of ebooks and e-audiobooks. So over 500 libraries participate. And out of those 500 libraries, we are number 25 in the state for circulation. So we are ahead of many much bigger libraries in our circulation there. So we began this year actually purchasing additional copies of those books to make them more available to the patrons that need them. So that's all.
Okay.
Questions too, let us know.
Okay, well, I think I would agree with you, Paul. Just overall, I'm looking at the report when I looked at it the other day. Dips in a few things, but you would expect that, and
Right.
increases in some of the, kind of the online and more virtual type things. But I just have to say, I'm always amazed and very proud of all the programs that you put on, and just the numbers really bear that out. So
I think that made us the saddest about COVID for us in the library is that, we were really working hard on those programming numbers and we just, we had to cancel all that this year,
Yeah.
but it'll pick up again. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, any questions for Paula or Trevor from the council? Okay, then seeing none. Thank you very much, Paul and Trevor. Still on department head reports, the COVID-19 pandemic, city operational changes and efforts.
Thanks, Mayor. This is Anthony. This item's been on here since maybe April or May. Unfortunately, I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. We're still operating as we have been for the past few months. I think case numbers have kind of upped and down, and they're kind of holding steady, or maybe going slightly down. So we're just trying to keep up on it. The county, I think had a meeting with their just operations and what's going on with their response efforts. So we're trying to stay informed on that end. We're watching a little bit on whether anything happens in Congress, maybe on another COVID relief package and what that means for any of the things that we've seen here this year. So not much we can change on that end, I guess. But one piece of good news, or at least encouraging news, we did receive a notice from the state that they're going to reimburse us for some of the public safety costs that we had throughout the year. And that number is to the tune of, it's about $120,000, $130,000. So we should receive that here. I don't know if it'll be in this month or by the end of the year. So I really appreciate Angela's efforts on that, as well as Brittany with their work on that. We actually were contacted by the league, kind of encouraging us to do it and suggesting that if you don't do it, your money's going to go to one of the big dogs. So I give kudos to the league as well, because they really tried to watch out for us, which was nice. So yeah, we're just going to keep working as we can, and just seeing what comes around the corner, crossing our fingers that these vaccines will be deployed, that they'll be effective here soon. But we're just trying to stay on top of it, especially with some of the CDC guidance that seems to change every so often. So that's been a bit challenging to try to square your brain around what you were doing, and now it's different. But we're working through that. So.
Okay. Yeah, this is Mayor Peters. Thanks, Anthony, for the report. And just to kind of add on to that, when the pandemic first started, I formed an ad hoc committee of Bob Ackerman, who's our emergency management representative, and Jody Selvey, city council member, who's the chair of our public safety. And we've met, I guess, a couple of times. I don't know if we've met more than twice, but just kind of keeping an eye on, the COVID cases and just the whole condition. So Anthony has us to kind of, as a resource to go to. And when there was a spike here recently, we met and considered kind of a mask mandate, which other jurisdictions, cities and counties have implemented. And that was just a day or two before the governor's proclamation in mid-November. And I'm just looking at on 11/16 Adel, or zip code 50003, which I looked and found that there's about 9,000 people in that zip code, when you search on the internet. And we had 116 cases. That was our high on 11/7. And it was just kind of right after that the the governor instituted the mask mandate under certain conditions. And since then, our cases have steadily declined. A low of 47 on the 2nd, and then we're at 55, which is still half of what we were about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we do keep an eye on that, and I think just the way that the public has reacted, and a couple of folks have reached out to me about the mask mandate, and I've replied back to them just anecdotally. You know, I see a lot of folks wearing masks, and I know Deb with the chamber, both chamber and non-chamber members. I convey to these folks that these businesses think it's good business practice to require masks. And even though requiring masks doesn't have the, I don't know, the full weight of a law or an ordinance, I talked with our chief of police, and if a business had trouble with someone not wearing masks where they wanted them to, they could call law enforcement, and they could be cited for trespassing. In other words, not for not wearing a mask, but for trespassing. So there is a legal remedy for business owners who want to enforce a mask mandate without having the mask mandate be the law that's being enforced. So I just wanted to throw that in, and we keep monitoring those numbers. And the county really has a pretty good site, you know, in terms of numbers and daily activity that's updated. Just one other thing I'll add. When we were considering the mask mandate, I spoke with Mr. Defoe, superintendent of ADM schools, and they have a dashboard that they update every Monday on their attendance, and their attendance is in, and I think one of the buildings, I forget which one it is, but the attendance is better than it was last year under COVID conditions. But overall, their attendance last year was 94 overall for the entire district, 94 plus, and now under these COVID conditions, it's only like 92 or 93. And according to the school, the attendance would have to drop 10% before they would go to all online. So Mr. Defoe said, knock on wood, we've been very fortunate. The protocols have worked. And so that's just to kind of add on what Anthony was more specific about the city and the city operations. This is more, you know, kind of a report on the community. So.
And just a FYI for Anthony, for your check from the state is frantically trying to get all these payments out the door because we have to have them done before December 31st. So check may be cut on December 31st, but so depending on how fast USPS gets them out, I know I'm working on a couple programs too to try to wrap them up. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yes,
Bob. Dallas County Emergency Management and Public Health have reinstituted their webinar. It's going to be every other Wednesday, I believe, and I'm not sure if it's this Wednesday. I haven't seen a notice on it yet, but I'll send that notice along when I get it. Be an update what's going on.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're still under department head report, and the fiscal year 21-22 budget council meeting scheduled for Monday, January 25th, 6 p.m. Anthony, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. This is Anthony. Basically, it's our standard budget council meeting. We're scheduled for the fourth Monday in January, so we're at that. We're working hard on that. We're waiting on the valuation from the county, so we'll see that soon. I think I saw today there's 8 counties in the state that have filed their valuations, so we're one of the 91, which is pretty typical. We're just a bigger county. So once we get that valuation, we'll really be able to understand where we're at. And we've been working with department heads on their budgets, kind of getting their big ticket items or kind of their priorities. So yeah, we're still in good shape, I think. We'll just see how the next couple of weeks and next month, I guess, go. But we got a good process, I think, and everybody understands it. So we'll work hard.
Okay. Okay, very good. Then that's it for department head report. We'll move to old business. Item A, consider approval of resolution 20-102, approving the preliminary plat for South Bridge plat for rezoning. So does someone want to introduce this? And then I saw Doug was on the line. I don't know if he's here to provide any clarification or just be available to ask questions.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. This is Anthony. So this item is for the preliminary plat for Southbridge Plat 4, and we've been working with Kramer and Associates, Doug Mandernack with CDA, McClure Engineering, and city staff, just trying to button it up. And we're right now we're recommending that we defer this to the January 12th council meeting. We still have a little bit of work left to do on some utility ideas, so we're hoping to make some progress over the next few weeks. But I know that they're talking through some of those on the more technical side of it. But that's what we're recommending tonight, is just to defer this to next month.
Okay. Yeah, just Doug, you're on the line. I don't know if you wanted to provide any comment or input. I know Anthony said he and the staff and the engineers have been working on this with you.
Yeah, sure, Mayor. I'll speak a little bit. It's Doug Mandernack from Civil Design Advantage, 3405 Southeast Crossroads Drive in Grimes. Yeah, we're working through with city staff and McClure Engineering, going through how this can be served with sanitary and how it will connect to the lift station that McClure is designing there. So to serve this property and adjacent property in the future for future development outside of the Southbridge property. We're looking at what's going to be installed now that will be able to serve that additional property. So we're not installing something now and limiting future expansion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for those comments, Doug. Any questions for Anthony or staff? If not, I don't know. I think to postpone to a date certain is a subsidiary. We got to have a main motion to approve resolution 20-102, and then we can have a subsidiary motion to postpone to a date certain. So I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution 20-102.
Mayor?
Yes.
Point of clarification. If there's no action, doesn't it stay on the old business?
Okay, well, yes, you can go either way. Yes, if we took no action, we could stay on old business. I agree with your point of order, Rob. Thank you.
Agreeable mood tonight.
Yeah. Bob, you still made me get this thing out. Okay, well then, so it'll just carry over to old business. Okay, then we're under new business, and item A, consider approval of resolution 20-111, approving construction contract and bond for the water system improvements 2020 high zone water main project. So I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution 20-111.
This Bob, so moved.
Shirley, second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, if there's no discussion, we'll vote on that motion.
Selby,
Yes.
Ackerman,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Macadon,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Okay, motion to approve resolution 20-111 passes. Okay, so now you got me thinking out loud. So item B is consider approval of ordinance 362, amending the code of ordinances of the city of Adel by amending chapter 122, peddler solicitors and transit merchants for the purpose of adding regulations regarding the mobile food units. This is the first reading. Well, okay, I'm going to rule this out of order because we haven't closed the public hearing. This would be in order if we had closed the public hearing. And so no action is necessary on this. This is an item that's dependent upon the closure of the public hearing. So this will appear on the next agenda under new business. So we're still on new business. Item C, discussion possible action on street committee recommendation to move several 2-hour parking signs from the north side to the south side of Court Street between North 9th and North 10th Streets. So Rob is chair of the street committee. I'll go ahead and turn the floor over to you.
Sure. Jody brought this to our attention that local business contacted her and requested this because of in front of her business on that side of the street seems like cars are parked there all day long and they have a hard time finding spots. This is not adding additional spots. It's just moving it from the one side of the street to the other. So it's moving it from where the old driver's license station was to the opposite side of the street in front of where this particular business is at. So, and while I know we've all had communication from Chief of Police regarding this, so I don't think it changes anything on that point. But it is a simple move from one side of the street to the other. I would move that we move forward with this. You're muted, Mayor.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, so you're making a motion to adopt the street committee's recommendation on the change of this part. Okay.
This is Dan, I'll second.
Okay, and Dan Miller second. Okay, any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I would submit amend that motion. From what I've seen last few days, it's really not necessary to convert the whole south side to 2-hour parking. What I would suggest is the 6 parking spots that go east from Raccoon Valley Drive, Bank Drive, go east a total of 6 spaces and make those 2-hour parking. This morning there was about 12 to 15 parking spots within a half a block of that building, and it's just like around the courthouse. All the county employees park there, and we can't enforce the 2-hour parking without going through many hours of work to get a ticket written. It has been approved by one of the appellate courts. So I would have moved that we, rather than do the whole block, just do 6 spots in there in front of that business. That would be.
I'll accept that as a friendly amendment. Dan is willing to.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll talk about the amendment about 6 spots. Actually, since it's friendly amendment, let's just talk about the whole adopting the change in parking for 6 spots. So, any discussion on that? Got a couple items here. Okay.
Just for confirmation, six is half of the spots in front of that on that block.
6 spots will take it to their east property line approximately. If you go from the drive into the Raccoons parking lot,
Go
6 spots east.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, well, very good. Well, if there's no more discussion, we'll vote on that motion.
Macedon,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Ackerman,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
Okay, motion to approve the street committee's recommendation for those 6 spots passes. Still on new business, item D, consider approval of resolution 20-112, ordering construction of the water system improvements 2020 high service pump building and fixing a date for a public hearing and taking bids thereof. Public hearing date of January 12, 2021 at 6 p.m. So I'd entertain a motion to adopt resolution 20-112.
This Bob so moved.
Shirley second.
Okay. If there's no discussion, we'll vote on that motion.
Miller,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Ackerman,
Yes.
Christensen,
Yes.
McAdon?
Yes.
Okay, motion to approve resolution 20-112 passes. Still on new business, item E, annual review of the city administrator. This is possible closed section. The council may enter the closed section according to section 21.51I of the Iowa Code. And this would be to evaluate professional competency of an individual whose appointment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered when necessary to prevent needless and irreparable injury to that individual's reputation, and that individual requests a closed session. So this is the last item. Before, I think are we going to leave this meeting and go to another meeting? Okay, then before we do that.
And Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
For clarification, after that is over, because we have to come back in open session after that to adjourn, we'll have to come back into this meeting as well.
Oh, back
public.
into this meeting. Okay. Okay. Very good.
And this is Anthony. I do request a closed session.
Okay. Okay. Well, then we'll go ahead and temporarily adjourn this open session part of the
Mayor,
meeting. Yes.
you need a vote on the closed session.
Okay, we'll vote on the closed session now.
Motion and a second and a vote.
Okay.
This is Dan. I move that we move into a closed session.
Bob, second.
Okay. There's no discussion. We'll vote on that motion.
Selby?
Yes.
Ackerman?
Yes.
Christensen?
Yes.
McAdon?
She's on mute. But,
Sorry, yes.
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Motion to go into closed session passes. Okay. Now what do we do?
Now everybody needs that. The public can stay on this, and if they want to wait around for the council to come back, they're more than welcome to. But the council, the mayor, and Anthony need to hang up from this session and join the other invitation that was sent out for the closed session. And then when that's done, we'll come back to this one to finish and adjourn.
Okay.
And Angela, I'll do the minutes after I'll get the time. So you're free to have a good night.
Okay, I was just about to ask about that. Thank you.